With voting now concluded for the 2019 GAC Legacy Awards, we now get a chance to speak to the winners. And by the narrowest of margins, the winner that you, the fans, chose for Player of the Year, the game-winning three-pointer in the second round of the NCAA Regional by Southwestern Oklahoma State's Tabor Beer. And Tabor joins us now. Tabor, congratulations, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much, and thanks for having me. I appreciate it so much.
So we'll take you back there to that day in March. You guys are facing the defending national champions. Just after getting over the hump and beating Emporia in a revenge game, just what's the mindset as you guys enter that game with the reigning champions?
I think we entered it with a bunch of confidence. I know we had talked about that moment like several times leading up to it, and I just remember going in, and I knew it was going to be a really tough fought game, and I knew they weren't going to give up, but I just knew that we had enough in us to win it, and so it was just an amazing overall game. I'm glad it ended the way it did because it was just icing on top of the cake, but I just remember us going in with like a bunch of confidence, and we weren't going to play to lose. We were playing to win, and that's what we did, and it was just a really good game.
So then, say it's inside that game. It's a back and forth affair. You know, they have a narrow lead in the final couple minutes, but then a technical foul on their coach kind of helps maybe shift the game your way. Just how do you guys keep everything kind of under control as the game is getting to be honest pretty chaotic in those last 2 minutes?
Yeah, it was. It was just a lot of things that kind of like were just here and there. And I remember Tyra even got in foul trouble, and that was a big thing. We hadn't had that in a long time. And so I just remember Coach just bringing us in together, and she's like, you have got to stay together. You have got to come together. You got to like work together. And I just know as like a team, we just didn't feel like we didn't ever like we weren't ever in a losing position. We just felt confident the entire time, and we kept that confidence with us, and we never let it waver. And I think that's what succeeded us in the end, because we didn't play on our toes, even though in some situation we probably were a little bit on the other side, but we just fought and we were together as a team, and none of us played selfish, and it was just we were just confident, and that's what got us that win right there.
And so as the game is winding down, you have a go-ahead layup after Haley hit the technical free throw, so you're up one briefly. It gets the 3 points. Then they hit the tying three with about 20 seconds left, so that sets you up for a final play. Just, how's it being drawn up? Obviously, when you've got players like Haley and Hayden and Bethany, and you've got just a slew of options, just where do you position yourself, and what do you how did you envision that play being being developed?
We talked about this so much after the game was over, and I just remember I told Coach, I said, I knew that Hayden and Haley and Bethany were not going to take that shot, because they were just so focused on them. I knew, I was like, me or Maddie are going to have to take this shot, and I knew that, and I felt it that whole time. I can't tell you why. It's just like the feeling I had. And if you look back at the clip, Maddie is wide open on the backside, and
Mm-hmm.
she is. And she's the one that got me open because the girl bit so hard to
Mm-hmm.
her. And so at the end of the day, I knew it was going to come down to maybe one of us. And I was just so happy and so blessed that I could finish it like for my teammates, because they worked so hard and they have accomplished so many amazing things. And to help them make a shot to just in the game, it was just I was just so happy that I wanted to do it for them. I love them so much, and I couldn't have done anything more for them. I was like, I just wanted to get it for you guys, and I'm so happy I got the chance to do that for them. So.
Well, as someone who likes to view himself as the foremost expert on that video clip, I've probably watched it 100 times because I like to watch, each reaction. So I know, how Haley is doubled, and I know how, like I said, when Maddie is wide open, there's someone on your bench. I can't pick out who it is, who just rolls her head back like, oh, she was so open on the. I can't avoid her every time because you can see it. Maddie's cut open, and Haley doesn't see her. The head throws back. Oh, that was our chance. And then, she's doubled. The ball's kicked over to you. You take the one dribble. Was that just to settle yourself, or was it not a perfect pass, or?
No. Anybody that kind of knows me, especially around here, and Coach will tell you, sometimes people call my shot a walk, because I'm like a catch hop shooter, and I was not going to give them any reason to call my shot a walk. I was like, I will catch this thing off the dribble, and then I will shoot it, because I just knew I couldn't afford for them to be like, that's a travel and that's going to overtime. So I was like, I'm going to take a dribble and I will shoot it. So that's the reason why. And I know most people are like, that's so weird, but sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. So I just made sure they didn't.
Well, that's, I mean, as someone who has not played above, intramurals level in high school, to have that sense that your shot is coming as college travel, to have that sense with 3 seconds left. This is not like, 14-42 in the second quarter. This is 3 seconds left to know that if ball's coming my way, I have to be so conscious of my shot not being called travel. I can't relate to that. So, I don't even know where I'm going with that, but just to hear that, because, I haven't heard you discuss it at length like this. So the ball goes in, you see triple zeros on the scoreboard, and everybody is celebrating. Did you think that they were going to review it for time left? I mean, you knew you got the shot off in time, I presume, but just take us through those few minutes where the review was underway.
I knew I got the shot off. It really wasn't that. I knew that. I was wondering how much time they were going to give them in order to maybe attempt another shot. And they had just made a clutch 3 right before that point too. So I was just really if you look back, I was so excited, and then I kind of got emotional because it was just I'd never experienced anything like that, and I probably won't in that same exact moment ever experience it again. It's something you dream about and pray about. And I just remember I wasn't ever nervous, but I was like, oh crap, the game's still not over yet. I still have to go play defense. And I'm over here celebrating like coach was trying to get us all hey, and we finally did. But in that moment, all I was thinking about was I can't believe I just made that. We're going. I thought it was over, but at least I had to play defense for one more second.
So Central does get, and they don't get a terrible look for 1 second left. So you get to now fully relax and celebrate. What's the locker room like? What's the messages like? How's that post game atmosphere, the half hour, an hour after it's over?
I mean, I have honestly the best teammates in the whole entire world. I love each and every one of them so much. They surrounded me with hugs. They just were great job, and they made me feel like it was just amazing, and I can't thank them enough. I try to always tell them how much they mean to me, and they honestly and truly were my biggest hype man supporters that I've ever had. And that's really what it was in the locker room. They were just that we were all just so pumped that we finally made it to this place that we wanted to be at. But then Coach comes in, and we all love Coach Music because she's like, now we got to get serious. That was not our game. That was not our best game. So she brings you back down a notch to reality, that's for sure. But, I mean, she's so great too. She told me she was proud of me, and but she also brought it down to the scenario, we're not done yet. Mm-hmm. And so by the time we left that locker room, we knew we had one more game that we had to finish, and we had to finish strong. And so by the time we left the locker room, everything was serious. But the first couple seconds in there were pretty amazing and hyped. So
then tell me about, I guess, what kind of, again, the message you receive, whether you're on, just however you receive them. And then as a follow-up, when's the first time that you saw the play, and mixed up or synced with Steven's audio to hear the call?
Get ready. 13 as Hayden Pretty crosses midcourt. 11, Hayden, top of the key, drives, stops, looking, kicks it out. 5, Haley, spinning. 3, Tabor, one dribble for the win. She got it! Tabor Beer! It's over! The Lady Dogs are going to Monday. They'll go to the monitor, but Tabor got it off in time. The sophomore from Hammond, Oklahoma. Cold-blooded for 3.
The first time I heard it was probably maybe the next day. I can't remember. I saw a bunch of Snapchat videos because we had a bunch of people Snapchatting the last seconds of the game. But I screen recorded that, obviously, and I have it. And sometimes whenever I need a little bit of heart flutter, I watch it because it just literally I'm oh my gosh, and then I get all excited again. So
it never doesn't go in either. That's the great thing about replays.
No, yeah, it always goes in time after time again. So, but yeah, I kept it, and it's just it's cool. I love to listen to it and watch it. It makes me feel good, and it makes me just love just go back and realize that we're playing because we love the game and all the excitement that comes with playing and everything. It just brings it all back. So.
Yeah, one of the few, again, I've seen the stream version, but one of the videos that someone did, I think it was Doug, your sports information director, sent of someone that was behind in the crowd behind you. So you see like the view from the bench. So you see Doug and the East Central coach who's there with him. They both in sync do a sync lean back to get a view of the shot. And it's one of my favorite things because it's like they knew what they were doing together. It was this perfect in tandemness of them leaning back. And then, obviously, Doug doesn't have to be as neutral, but Coach Cole has to because he's there as an advisor. But you both see him just for a moment, allow the emotion to seep out of them. But then they're easy right back into the zone. What other views did you see of the play that just from wherever you saw it that's the best one that you saw?
I love a lot of people, and I've watched it every time, and I look at different people, like you said. Bethany Franks gets me going a lot of the time. Her high step legs coming at me, and Haley Tucker, she was always, anytime someone she was always the first, and she just bear hugs me and slaps me, and then Hayden over there crawling around on the ground, she's at half court crawling on the ground. Coach goes from high and then drops into a squat.
Yes, that's the one I like too. Is this the double the two arm just down to a crouch? There are so many good moments in that thing that if you only watch it the one time you don't see. But then again, nerds like me, I want to see everyone. I wish that you could have seen more of from the screen, more of your fans or of the central side, because I have this forever image and. You may be one when this happened. Jordan's jump shot against Utah to win the '98 finals. There's a screenshot of him in form, and you see all of the Utah's fans just panic stricken, they know the ball's going in. And there's 3 Bulls fans that already know he's gonna make it. So I just want to see that. I wish I had seen more of the the crowd in motion, because I would go back and see all the other.
I did notice. I don't know if it was that one or a Fort Hays fan did send one to Hayden, and Fort Hays fans were "Oh, this,
it's not even involving them."
And we saw that night because he sent it to us after the game was over. So we saw that night, and we were all "Yes, they don't want to play us. We know now they don't want to play us." So it was just kind of funny to see their reaction because they didn't really have any they just didn't want us to win, I guess. But.
Right. They probably think that the opponent they know is better than the opponent that they're less familiar with. And turns out they might have been right, because you guys put quite a beating on them on that Monday night. So as we wrap up here with Tabor Beer, the voted the winner, the play of the year, how much do you even because it's a pretty easy spot to find on the court. How often do you know, if I'm in that part of the area, this is where the shot went down? Or do you even think about that as you practice or when you go back there? Because I would only go there the rest of my life and just, it'd be one of two things. I'd only ever go there, or I'd never go there again, because I can't replicate it. I'm just going to go to the other wing. I'm going to go top of the key. I'm going to go corner. I'm never going to that spot again. So how do you, when you step onto a court, are you drawn to that spot or what?
Honestly, yeah, I think I am drawn to that spot, because if you look back, I think I make one or a few in that same wing at the national tournament. I think that's my wing spot. I like that. And so I'm glad that's where my last second shot ended, because it would probably gave me a higher percentage. But no, I don't shy away from it. I definitely probably stay there a lot more than I go other places.
Well, not to go ahead and just give away ideas, but if SWOSU ever wanted to have a halftime challenge where they had to hit the Tabor shot as the clock runs down, that's clearly what they should do, is have kids go out there and have to hit that one to win whatever. But that's what I would do if I were them. But they may not want to take my idea. And for them, I say, too bad. Well, Tabor, the last thing we do is to wrap up here. Like I said, with all the awards being online driven, it does take a lot of support to get these awards. And I think yours was, both the most voted on and the closest. So this is my chance to turn the mic on you and to you to give your Oscar speech and to thank all those who may have voted both for your play and for all of the Southwestern achievements this year.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I just want to thank all the SWOSU fans. You guys are amazing. I mean, you support us in every way possible, and I can't thank you enough for voting for me. To my teammates and coaches, y'all are a blessing. They hype me up. They post me everywhere to get me some votes, and I can't thank you enough, and I appreciate and love you guys so much. And I'll never forget this season we had together, and I will never forget all the memories made. And it almost makes me emotional because I just love you guys so much. But I want to thank my mom and dad, my family, because they support me and they just always have my back. And so does all of SWOSU and Western Oklahoma. I love this town, this place. And I just want to say a quick shout out to all the other plays that were nominated because I watched all those and those were amazing plays. And I can't even believe that I actually won because those are just things that I couldn't even do. The home run, the winning touchdown, and that shot off the dribble. I mean, those are both amazing plays. And I'm just so humbled and honored and blessed that I could even won this award. And so thank you all to everybody that voted again. And thank you for having me and talking.
Well, Tabor, thank you for joining us. Maybe in Bartlesville, we'll go out to the same spot. Maybe on the Bartlesville court, we'll try and replicate it. All right?
Yes, hopefully.
All right. Thank you for joining us, and we will catch up down the road.
All right. Thank you.